You're the best bullshitter in the world. Oh no, kiddos. John Cena just dropped a curse word. That means the show is completely off the rails. Hey, Stu, shoot this. Hey, I'm breaking the fourth wall. Ha ha!
Last night, I had the great pleasure to be live and in person in Grand Rapids, Michigan for a very memorable segment with John Cena, one that will certainly go down in history. I think this promo will be remembered for a long time to come. This is the heel John Cena that I've been asking for a long time now. You can go back in previous videos. I've said that this John Cena that comes out straight-faced and he's just trying to be a sour puss and take all the piss out of wrestling and then ruin it for everybody. It wasn't quite working, but the trash talking, the shit talk heel Cena that we got back in the day, even when he was a baby face, he cut some of the most epic promos in wrestling history, tearing people to shreds on the microphone. John Cena's a dangerous guy on the microphone, and he proved that again last night. That is what I have been waiting to see. And you know, when you buy tickets to events, I haven't gone to the last several Raws or Smackdowns that have come around to the area. The last time I've been to a wrestling show was SummerSlam in Detroit. What was that, 2 years ago? Oh, maybe 3 now. But I haven't gone to any Raws or Smackdowns because they're very hit or miss. You know, sometimes you go to a show and they're newsworthy and eventful, like last night was, or, you know, they can just be one of those paint by numbers going through the motions, just getting through it to get to the next show or to the next storyline beat or the next PLE. So it's kind of a crapshoot. But when I bought tickets specifically for this show because John Cena was being advertised locally as this is his, you know, one of his last stops ever as an active professional wrestler. And even on those dates, sometimes he just shows up and cuts a promo. Hell, one time he just showed up, held the belt up, and then got RKO'd by Randy Orton. So even then, it's a crapshoot what you're going to get. It wasn't until much later, you know, I was happy just knowing that Cena was going to be in the building on his very last appearance in the area. He wouldn't be making this loop again as an active wrestler. But then when I heard he was going to be facing R-Truth, with all the hype that's been going on with R-Truth and his return and the continued feud between him and John Cena, this got me extra excited. Not only do I get to see John Cena one last time, but I get to, and I'm a big John Cena mark, if you can't tell. I was one of those people back in the day that was always hating on Cena. You know, the Let's Go Cena sucks. I was one of the Cena sucks people, right? But I just respect the fuck out of the guy at this point. And, you know, Peacemaker is a great show, and I just think Cena is just a fucking gem of a human being, right? So, very excited to see him, stoked to see that he's going to actually have a match now. Not only do we get one of his final appearances, but I get to see one of his final matches. His first match on SmackDown in fucking years. So very excited for that. But I did not expect to see what I saw. You know, when the match kind of ended quick, and it wasn't what I had hoped it would be, and I felt disappointment immediately. You know, when the DQ happened, I was like, already? That wasn't very long. Well, at least I got to see him, I guess. But I wasn't looking at my phone because I didn't want to spoil the show or anything, you know, like, oh, we're going off the air now, to check the time. But I kind of half expected Punk to show up to do just a run-in, and that would like end the show, like a brawl or something, because they had been doing Raw and SmackDown crossovers over the last couple weeks because of the King of the Ring, I'm assuming. Or maybe they're just, you know, giving up on the whole boundaries of, you're on this show, you're on that show. So we'll talk more about the others like Jey Uso and stuff on this show. But I half expected, since, Uso had showed up and there'd been crossovers, that perhaps Punk, because he's feuding with Cena, might show up here. So I was holding out hope for that because I'm a big Punk mark as well. When Punk's music hit, I was like, fuck yeah. Like, yes, here we go. We get to see Punk. And I expected like a brawl, and this was already exceeding my expectations, by the way. This was already far, just, seeing the show in total, but then especially at the end here with Punk coming out, I was like, money well spent. But then it happened. Cena got the table after laying Punk out, and Punk barely put up any kind of fight at all. So it was like, Punk got his ass kicked, but, cool, we get to see Cena still. And then he rolled the table in the ring, put Punk through the table, sat up on the turnbuckle, and I still didn't see it coming until he started talking. And then you could hear, it wasn't just me, like the same time I was recognizing this, you could hear a rumble. It wasn't like a pop or anything. It was just the buzz in the crowd. Like, people were like, oh, that's the thing. Like, you started to hear that all around. Like, everybody was kind of getting it at the same time. And it was like, oh, shit, we're good. This is going to be something special here. And Cena goes on to cut one of the damnedest promos he's cut in many, many years. I don't want to say it's his best of all time. Some are saying that. I've read the comments under the videos and stuff. I think people are accurately pointing out this was the best promo of his entire heel turn. And again, this is what I've been advocating for the whole time. Like, the problem, so what Cena's been fighting against the grain here, because he's been trying to be the heel that has no redeeming qualities and that everybody hates, and he's taking all of the fun out of everything. He does not want you to cheer for him or like him. But I feel like that's going against the grain. That might have worked 10 years ago, a complete switch up of the character. Like, I get, people talk about how important it is to be a real heel, not a cool heel like the NWO, but I've been saying John Cena needs to be the cool heel. Damned what other people say you should be as a heel or whatever. This is Cena's last year, so give us the best of John Cena. Don't give us this try hard, I'm gonna be no fun at all Cena. Give us, just cut loose, man. Just rip the Band-Aid off and just be unleashed John Cena. And he was last night. Now, a lot of that, it was a beat for beat copy of the Pipebomb promo. That's what everybody was rumbling about. That's what was so special about this. Punk lay in the table like Cena laid in the table. Both of them were after an R-Truth John Cena match. Wild. But Cena shredded CM Punk in this promo. He had a lot of deep cuts and a lot of just truth bombs, Punk has been deballed since he joined WWE. And, part of that's for a reason, because he's pushed. I think Sam Roberts said it in his analysis last night, that Punk has pushed this anti-authority, I'm going to push back against the man as far as he could possibly push it, If he came to WWE with that attitude, he would have been done. He would have been blackballed from the entire industry, basically. Where do you go from there? So he has been playing ball, and he has been deballed. So that was a good jab by Cena. Cena was just on point. Even some people are reading into, I don't know if this was, an Easter egg of some kind, but the hi Claudio Castagnoli, hi Nick Nemeth, hi Matt Cardona. Just so happens the Claudio Castagnoli, CC, Colt Cabana. Hi Matt, hi Nick, the Young Bucks. So it could have been like a little bit of 4D chest wordplay going on there, but I don't know that I read too deep into that. It could very well just be, Cena shouting out his friends that are not in the company, just like Punk did. But this was the damnedest thing to see live, and I got to tell you, I've gone to a lot of shows in the Grand Rapids area, in that arena. and none of them have been this big. None of the crowds have been this hot. Packed, jam-packed. There were no empty seats other than the couple rows behind production. Otherwise, this was, jammed packed, as tight as you could get. And I mean tight, because I'm a big fella, and those seats are small, and it was hot and sweaty in there, miserably sweaty, miserably hot. But the crowd was fucking just on fire. They were into everything. And looking back and watching some of the clips that aired on TV and just hearing people's reviews, sounded like the crowd was a hot crowd on camera as well, which is great. Because if Grand Rapids, of all places, can get a reputation of being a hot wrestling town, like, that's not something that they've been known for. And honestly, a lot of the shows that have been there have just been meh. A lot of meh shows go through there because Detroit's right next to it, and Detroit usually gets the bigger shows, you know. Grand Rapids might be the stop before the pay-per-view in Detroit, or, you know. So it doesn't necessarily always get the good shit. But this is an all-timer here. I don't know if this will go down as a most famous segment as like Punk's Pipebomb, but certainly I think history was made. I think this was a night that will be remembered, and it was just very special to be there and be a part of it. Like I said, it was far and beyond my expectations for what I thought I was going to be getting when I bought my tickets. I would have been happy just to be in the presence of John Cena for the last time that he was in the area. And I got so much more. I thought the promo was epic. I thought the crowd was great for this. They were hanging on every word. And you couldn't help but cheer John Cena because he was saying true things, and he was finally being what we wanted him to be. We like the trash talking John Cena. We always have. That's why the diss rapper guy version of Cena, the doctor of thugonomics, that's why he became a babyface so quickly, because he was getting over with all of his trash talk. Dude can cut a promo. He's one of the best promos in wrestling ever. And he knows how to turn it on and turn it off. And he's been weak sauce. This whole heel run has been going against the grain, trying to take the fun out of wrestling. Now he needs to make wrestling fun. Now, we're running out of time. 6 months after we've seen this now, fuck if the crowd's cheering or booing you, man. Just come out and just shred fools on the microphone. That's all you need to do, and you will be the most over you've ever been. And he is, I think. I mean, that crowd was solid. And they were chanting for CM Punk all night, by the way. I mean, when LA Knight was getting the beat down at the very beginning of the show, the crowd was like, CM Punk. They were they chanted CM Punk when Paul Heyman came out. They chanted, there was, I think, one or two other moments on the show where CM Punk was being called for by the fans. So Punk was over. When he came out, he got a huge pop. But by the end of this, Cena flipped it around on him, and Cena was over as Rover. Cena had one of the biggest, if not the biggest, reactions of the entire night when he came out. Even before, they kept cock teasing us because R-Truth came out first, and then they went to commercial break, I think, and they were playing videos. But as they were playing the videos in the house, they would like there was a moment where they cut a segment short. They did things all night, like the kiss cam and stuff, but it wasn't the kiss cam. They're like, hold up your sign or do your EO Sky pose and stuff like that. And they cut one of them short, and they went to black. And we're like, oh, we're going back to TV now. So you could see everybody in the crowd was holding up their phone. I was one of them, trying to get the video and stuff of Cena's entrance, and then they'd play another commercial. It's like, and they did that a couple times. But when Cena came out, the crowd was ready with the "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks." They had that before Cena even walked out. They were cheering it while commercials were still playing because they kept anticipating that this was the moment that Cena was coming out. So he was. The crowd was fucking vested in John Cena. What a segment! I feel a little bit bad for R-Truth. I feel like he got a little shortchanged here. I feel like they did a little regression here with him. it almost felt, at least, I didn't get to hear the way the commentary was explaining it or anything, but at least in the building, it came off like R-Truth was coming out like, not that it was the wrong segment like he does when he comes out and like the Money in the Bank, puts a ladder in the Royal Rumble or something like that. Like, it just felt a little off, and then the short match, and then the DQ, and then he just shuffles off to the back. It feels like they didn't fully go all the way with R-Truth. They could have had a more epic match, and what my prediction was that R-Truth was going to be winning. Cena was going to try to cheat with the belt. Punk would come out, stop Cena from cheating with the belt, and then R-Truth would pin and beat John Cena because it was non-title. That didn't happen, but something close to that, I guess. Just wow. And I kept saying, while I was sitting up in the crowd, I just kept saying, wow, like trying to take in and recognize the moment that we were in. It was something very special. Some of the other things just for the night, like I said, the arena was packed. The crowd was hot. Even the long ass lines, the parking lots, just trying to park to get into the goddamn building was nuts. We had to drive by like two before we got into a third one because they were literally putting out the lot is full signs as we were trying to go in. I went with my girlfriend. This was her first wrestling show ever. I've just recently been getting her into wrestling. She's a Tiffy fan, of course. So I was excited that she got to see Tiffy out there. Tiffany Stratton had a fun little segment. She's starting to like Alexa Bliss, so I'm glad she got to see Alexa too. We got to see a very solid match with Alexa and Asuka. I thought that was good. Started kind of slow. But I thought that was good. Sami Zayn and Randy Orton was phenomenal. I loved the finish on that. The RKO out of nowhere. I was like, that was good. That was really good. I was happy that we got Chelsea Green. Charlotte came out, and Charlotte was like a disco ball. She was sparkling. It did not come off on camera. My girlfriend noticed that. She's like, she's not sparkling as much on the TV as she is in real life. Like her gear was like blinding, like a goddamn diamond, with all the sparkling and lights flickering off of it and stuff. But I'm a big Chelsea Green fan, so like I was stoked to see Chelsea in action. I've never seen Chelsea live before. As a wrestling fan, like the fact that we got some crossovers, I'm not sad that Seth Rollins didn't show up, though. The crowd was kind of cheering for him when Paul Heyman came out. They thought, we'd get a Rollins sighting here tonight, but I was happy with just Paul Heyman. The Two Stooges, I could care less about. Braun Breaker, I feel like he's actually regressing right now by being more of a henchman than like a mid-card star on the rise. I feel like he's taken a step back. He'll learn a lot here, so it's not wasted time. He's learning from the master here, Paul Heyman, and a good veteran in Seth Rollins. But still, it feels like a step back. Bronson Reed, I could care less about. So when he got announced to have a match at the end of the night with LA Knight, it was like, that match, like, I was kind of like over it. I was hot. I was cramped. I was sweaty. I was ready to just see John Cena, so I didn't quite get into that match. But got to see some killer matches, got to see some crossover talent. Jey Uso, that's the other one I wanted to address. Glad I got to see Cody come out, though Cody didn't say a goddamn word, but I got the entrance. I don't think I've ever seen Cody live before, not the American Nightmare. I've seen Cody live when he was... I don't even think Dashing. I think it was when he was in Legacy was the last time I've seen Cody live. I might have seen Stardust. I don't know. A lot of them blend together and are unmemorable, as I was talking about earlier, just kind of there. But I've never seen the American Nightmare live. Even the 2 AEW shows I went to, this was he was not on, and that was the show where CM Punk returned. And then I went to the War Games, the Blood and Guts match in Detroit, and I think he had already passed. Oh, I take that back. I was at SummerSlam and I saw Cody face Brock Lesnar. So never fucking mind. I guess I'm eating my words there. But it was still cool to see him. And God, it's crazy how you forget shit like that, Then Uso. So I knew Uso was coming out because the crowd gave it away. Like, he wasn't announced for the show. I didn't see it coming, but before Cody even came out, they must have been setting up the cameraman or getting extra security in that entrance, because you could see my girlfriend actually pointed out to me. She's like, something's going on down there. What's going on down there? And I looked. I was like, oh, Jey Uso is going to be here. Obviously, he's the only one that comes out from there. You know, because everybody in the crowd had their phones up and they're pointing towards the entrance where Jey would be coming out. But then Cody came first, and then Jey interrupted him immediately. But that was cool. You know, as you know, I'm a big critic of Yeet Boy and have been, but it is interesting to have experienced the Yeet experience live. You know, I have never been to a show where he was full-fledged Yeet Boy, eating around everywhere. The crowd was hot as fuck for him. I gotta tell you, he was the most over, next to probably Cena. Jey Uso, man, the crowd fucking loves them some Jey. As soon as he came out, the crowd was eating that shit up. They were yeeting all over the place. Everybody was. And then they called for him to, you know, to do it again. And once he got to the ring, like, it was a hot ass crowd. They were all in for this show. And I mean, this was one of the best shows that has come to Grand Rapids in years and years and years. I'm probably forgetting something. You know, they did a lot of fun stuff during the commercials. Like I mentioned, they had the EO Sky cam. I've never seen that before. They had a Jade Cargill cam where you hit your pose, and it's like they got a bunch of cute little adorable kids on there doing fun stuff. And I remember them doing things like that in the past, but they haven't anytime recently. It's just kind of dead air. So I'm I thought that was, you know, a good way to keep the crowd entertained and engaged while commercials were going on and stuff. But all in all, man, I cannot praise this show enough. Happy that I was there. A memorable show, you know, for just expecting to just get to share the same air as John Cena, to getting to see him wrestle, to getting to see him cut a fucking promo and cut a pipe bomb promo on top of that, and see all the buzz and everything that's going on in the wrestling world about this. A lot of talk, a lot of hype. People everywhere are talking about this fucking segment. So just truly blessed to have been able to be there, be in the building, even though I was way up in the cheap seats, because I ain't paying no $1,000 for a fucking ticket. I don't care how cool the show is. I'm not doing it, but that's just me. But yeah, I guess I'll leave it there, because we'll just be going in circles otherwise. Love to know your thoughts. How did it come off for you guys on TV? Did you love the promo? Give me all of the comments down below. While you're there, hit that subscribe button. Also got a book out, The Gathering, A Bold Journey into the Belly of the Juggalo Underworld. Links are in the description for that. Audible, Kindle, Amazon. Peace, love, and pizza. I am your boy, Seth Grimes, and we will catch you in the next video. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Seth Grimes. Thanks for checking out that video. If you want to watch more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Like the video while you're there if you liked it. And leave a comment. If you got something to say it.